We're gonna call Kim Bouchamp, who's got the open case here. That's not really open.
Have reached
Inspector Kim Beecham.
Start recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Yeah, Inspector Beecham, it's Aaron Fanning from 200 Lincoln. So I actually have the physical copies of the orders to comply, and even some of the email exchange about how in October they were working on it. So the hair salon's open again. They even went ahead and they put their awning out because they feel so comfortable. Everybody's so comfortable with the structural damage that they did, they keep doing a lot more. And so now I videotaped that they've opened up a fucking COVID testing site here in the apartment right next door to me. You're out of your fucking mind. Please make sure that this stops. This has been recorded, and this is going on with the rest of them. As you guys know, I've been very successful in getting things documented now. Yeah, we're going to make this stop. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, Kim is bullshitting that there's no violation at 800 Main, so we're going to contact Ryan Barnes. Sorry, not Kim, Ryan.
Hello, you have reached the voicemail of Inspector Ryan Barnes with the Los Angeles Department of Building Safety Code Enforcement. I am currently away from my desk. Please leave a message and I will return your call as soon as possible. If you need immediate assistance, please call my supervisor, Senior Inspector John Mattillo at 213-978-4498. Thank you for calling.
Start recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Hey Brian, it's Aaron Fanning. So I see that you closed out Jim Muir's 800 address. I don't know what you're doing about there's no issue. You're wrong because first of all, you guys couldn't even address it because, well, it's not a single family residence. It's not a commercial space, is it? No. You got it zoned for multi. So you guys need to get that over to housing. But regardless, the permitting is all fucked up because you guys tried to issue permitting for a deed that's not even connected or attached. So, above and beyond that, we have more COVID issues. You guys now need to deal with 200 Lincoln Boulevard having a COVID testing site in apartment 10, the illegal cited one. This is being recorded. You have a wonderful day, Ryan. You guys are scumbags.
Department of Building Safety, John Mattillo, can I help you?
Hi, good morning, John Mattillo. This is Aaron Fanning. This is being recorded. So, anyway, we're going to talk about what's going on at 200 Lincoln right now. The ones that I have, the citations that are open, because they're currently have decided to build out a COVID testing facility here too. So what would you like to say about that, John?
Put a complaint in. We'll go look at it.
Oh, really? What about Jim Muir's properties? What about Mark Ryvek's properties? What about 100 Sunset? You know that you have no permits, bud.
You can't record me first.
I can, because you're a city employee and you on the clock, boy. What? I have your illegal case. I now prove that you tried to have You provided my name to Bruno Vavala and you tried to accuse me of making reporting and complaints before I even was at this property trying to cover your tax fraud. I can record you all I want, and I prove that there is no restraining order and that Lau has been fucking around. So what would you like to say about that, John? Bitch. Hi, good morning, David. I have an issue about a hair salon that's operating right now. The thing is that LADBS cited and ordered them to cease operation in October. LADBS knows about this, and even just now, well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call you back because this is LADBS. What's going on, John?
You can talk to me in a nice voice. I'll listen to you, okay?
Okay, well, John, okay, I'll talk to you in a nice voice. I talk to you in a nice voice, and I don't need, hold on. Shh, I'm calm, and you're not going to talk to me in any other way than a person that is actually super liable to me. So you have defrauded city records so far that you guys tried to present that I was making reporting before I even moved here, because you're trying to cover your fraud. I don't care. You guys have done whatever you've done, John. All I ever tried to do was just live in a safe, mildly habitable spot. It's not my fault you fucked around with 208 and caused the parking issue that then even more is exasperated by your buddy's hotel that you allowed him to escalate and have his trailer to 5 units and 70 people. Now, dude, all I did is he broke my fucking windshield and then he tried to accuse me, tried to attack me, he got all crazy. All I did is report it so that things were civil. And then I try to report things as they go, and what's happened, because you guys made small allowances for people, they start taking advantage of it, and now what happens, John, that they're so flagrant that they don't give a fuck about what orders you issue, that I have to go through a freedom of information request to find that indeed that office should not be open and indeed structurally was proven an issue. And that's not at housing, and that housing now knows that there's 8 illegal units here, that the hair salon is so ballsy they don't give a fuck about you that they put up an awning that's so low I don't even have to raise my hand to hit it because they don't care. They don't got no respect for you. They know that doesn't matter what anybody at LADBS says. It's not my fault that I honestly, I didn't mean to bust Cora Johnson. I didn't mean to cause all that commotion, but that's how sloppy these pigs are, John. You know what I'm saying? And literally, they took that much advantage. No, hold on a second. They've taken this much advantage of things financially, John, that they literally currently have things standing without permits when they've gotten proven by COVID, by nature, that, yeah, we should have gone to the state with that. They're taking it so far that they've opened up a COVID testing site in the cited illegal unit that's connected to mine. So I have literally 6 inches from their door of where they have a testing site now. Because they don't give a fuck about you guys. Because it's been proven that they can do whatever they want. I'm super upset and distressed, guy. Because your buddy Bruno over there pulled a gun on me almost exactly a year ago after I reported. Because I reported really well. Not only that, John, you went ahead and hid the fact that I had fucking provided you with the proof of it being a hotel. That is what it is, but you've allowed these people to hide the arson of the last tenant that died here. And guess what, John? There is no housing authority contract or voucher for me to be here. There is no history of it. I got sent here by the city of Santa Monica because public health department, well, they found me in a hotel that I had been in for 4 fucking months with an abscess looking like E.T. because I was recovering from facial reconstruction. And they found me with a 3-inch open sewer, 89-degree hot water, no heater in the middle of winter. And then so City of Santa Monica freaks the fuck out because St. Joseph's tried to kick me out of the hotel and locked me out. And I was like, that's fine. I'll just file a housing complaint because I've been here for 4 months. I know my rights. And City of Santa Monica was like, yeah, no, this is going to cause issues for the homeless and jobs. I was like, I really don't care. Like, this is super not healthy and safe, and nobody should be put in there, period, in those conditions. And they literally like, well, we're going to close your housing complaint, but we're glad that you have an investigation going with that, with the public health. Like, that didn't stop the second they locked me out. And then days later, I suddenly am told, hey, you have an apartment. I never filled out a voucher. I have Becky Dennison on recorded video acknowledging they brought me here a year ago to try to scare me out. Now I know what Bruno does for them and his 61 fucking lawsuits. I know what he does. This is the old school arson game with some fucking bullshit lawyers in the front. Everybody has acknowledged to me that they know that St. Joseph's is owned by Venice Community Housing, got taken over in 2016. That's why you guys have that weird land shit that's crossing over fucking city boundaries. That's not even possible, let alone those deeds aren't tied together, and it's permitted as it is, and it's not, somehow it's registered as an HCIDLA owned and operated building so that it could get that fucking residential address, so that it could get all the homeless mail illegally that was not getting to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a state essential service facility. Why is it not up to their code? Because that thing's not fire compliant. So what they've done is they've now taken the lead because they know they have everybody by the balls, that they're putting everybody's life at threat. It's not cool that they've had this place cited since then, and after that, they start an eviction on me. They have Bruno on the property. I have it recorded on November 5th, preventing me physically from coming on the property under the threat of the restraining order that Frank Shin is fucking around with all of my reporting and caused me to get... I reported and I asked them for help to report when it was videotaped, staged. They tried to stage me to try and do a hit and run on him. I ain't fucking playing with none of that. I went in my house, and the neighbor actually was so respectful of me, like going to apologize for them because it was, that dude's such a fucking psychopath, and I wanted to come into this community and have the opportunity to actually become a contributing member of society. I don't do no fucking drugs. You guys know I know code. Yeah, some shit happened to me. Yeah. And so, yeah, I know DSA. I was doing DSA jobs while I was facing a grave bodily harm case against a cop that I paid for my bail by doing that job. And I beat that case. And I've been homeless ever since, struggling my ass off. And whatever I do, I don't have family. And so when I was afforded a chance, supposedly, I didn't want housing, John, because I don't want to be a burden on society, John. I only took this because they promised me I was going to finally have some fucking support, that I wouldn't get fucking accused of shit by the police that puts me at fucking risk, that I would have some support and in a position to where, like, they told me they had this youth build thing and it was something that I could contribute. I can have value and I can become, they told me I was going to be able to scale back into full fucking rent and be able to be an accountable, responsible adult. But that's not the plan, John. The plan is to make inventory boxes. And the fact of the matter is, John, is because we do know it's the same people own them. St. Joseph's only had a budget of $10 million with $1 million salary budget in 2018. That's a countywide agency supposedly giving services. Now what they've done is Venice Community Housing, because they're defrauding and they're fulfilling Venice Community Housing's credentials on the financial side, where it's supposed to be St. Joseph's, a different entity that makes sure that we're in safe environments and that we also comply with programs that don't exist because they don't have employees. Well, they ended up with a $32 million budget in 2018 when they only owned 236 apartment units. They're only able to get Section 8 rent. Yeah, and so they ended up $9.5 million net positive after the Lincoln purchase, before AB 1197 that they drafted even passed. So the reality is, John, is that, yeah, you and I both know that MTA yard overpriced like nobody's business. We know that why? Because it was no bid and owner builder. And there's no insurance on the job site, and we have humans getting sick from viruses when they're claiming they're trying to fucking help us, John. All Carol's done, all that she's managed to do with all of her lawsuits, John, I've been homeless for 10 years, 11 years. All she's managed to do is assure that there's more resentment. Not one service has been available. There's no fucking safety net. I shouldn't have even gotten this far down. But if I had access to a little bit of support instead of having to be chronic, and what they're doing to Venice is they use it as a fucking public lobby to try to find who they think's as crazy as possible that they can manage. Now, my case, the reason I made it in is my face was wired up. I was starving to death. I had an atrophied mouth. They give so little a fuck about anybody or the reality of what their case is I asked them to get my case history and everything about me, and they just go super high value because I qualified for not able to feed himself, physical disabilities, and then they attached mental ones. Dude, this is destroying society.
You got a tough life, man. You got a tough life.
I got a tough life because of what's actively going on. Let's handle this fucking hair salon. This is not acceptable. I'll tell you what, John, also, I'll tell you what, honestly, is that I know that there's hearings going on here next week that you guys cannot even have because you guys aren't the authority on duplexes, and you guys are even pushing the most bullshit because you guys don't have the historics on it for Oakwood Properties that I very well know the game that Brian Ulf has been playing. You know that I've built shit for George Francisco's family? Like, they really, really know me. They really, really know who the fuck I am. And they're really, really terrified of me because I know their game. Their game is so basic. My family's from here, John. I grew up here. I'm an Eagle Scout from the Palisades. My co-patrol leader was Brian Jenkins' kid at Rand. Yeah.
But you said your family's all gone now. You said your family's all, you don't have any family.
Doesn't matter what I got right now. I still grew up around here, and I still, like I said, I know the Rand game and my family. What they did do in the 90s,
Okay.
what they did do in the 90s is they happened to get all of the tech licensing for all software, hardware, IT, and even ISP for the county, for the city, for RAND, for TRW, for everybody. And that's why I know about the Boring Co. tunnel hustle, because I was actually in that fucking space that they stage dressed and called a tunnel. Because see, my family is so historically from here that my grandfather was an LT1 in the, in Signal Corps here and helped dress Cloverfield, and I very well know what got built from 39 to 45. You understand what I'm saying? I definitely know about all the old airfields, and I definitely know why in 91 they went ahead and saved the building that's now Google or YouTube from Hughes. I very well know about the fucking basements. I very well spotted the basements in the Rand RAD Metro LLC that it was now Rad Dogtown Station, because I know what the fuck's in the ground. So I know why Jim Muir's doing what the fuck he's doing with his building titles. We're not going to give Jim Muir a pass on him having two different deeds and his permits going this way and that way, because here's what's happening by you continuing to allow this shit, John. You have no control over nothing.
I don't have much control over as far as those permits were issued in the past.
What permits were issued in the past, John? Nothing's grandfathered in at Jim Muir's property. And again, you guys have got permitting for 208 off 200 or 204 off 800. When that can't happen, they're separate deeds, and it says that he's got an elevator and a pool and a house and everything else on a different deeded lot.
You're talking about Main Street. You're talking about Main, 800 Main, right?
Yeah, that one's
That's
Main.
What you're talking about.
That one's Main. Then there's 100 Sunset that you guys need to fucking revoke because you guys need to make sure that you stop having people in threat there. You have the two standing citations here at this property. Actually, you have the three. The one that was all the way back to 2003 where you went ahead and skipped it, where it still says it's an open investigation in 2013. That you went ahead and just tried to change the zoning for 208. When we have an occupancy permit that contains 208 as our parking. So you're going to go ahead and work on that.
Okay, listen, put a complaint in for the beauty salon. If that awning's on there, it might be in violation. So
what do you mean if? John, in the Freedom of Information request that you barely fulfilled, you gave me, you actually, because you panicked, because everybody knew I was on the money. So what you ended up giving me, unfulfilled, what you ended up giving me was the actual orders of compliance and some of your email exchange with Maria going back in October, promising you that she was going to comply, and then it stopped. So I don't know why you can't do your job diligently. I'm not starting another one because it says that it's open under investigation because, again, you guys do not put the actual order numbers known, so it's of record. And to be clear, Because those didn't make it, we do know that they went ahead and tried to pass Lincoln for more proposals when they cannot get permitting or even financing. Why? Because the deeds aren't merged, and even worse, the commercial lot over there on Lincoln at the Spy development, yeah, it's tied to this building. That's why this one, they don't want it to go into REAP. But it needs to be in REAP, and it's going to be in REAP because HCID LA has already acknowledged there's 8 illegal units here, John.
That's all housing apartments. I know you're dealing with them too.
Well, yeah, but you have extra, you've decided to hold without any occupancy permits spaces out of an HCID housing location. And you also cut off our parking and you decided to convert it to a retail space in 2016. And you also made it look like it's deeded to somebody else when there's no deed there. John, I even know about the thrift store and Boys Girl. Nebraska? Do you want me to go ahead and move inside there because that nobody owns these titles? 187 LLC? No problem. How about the fact that the church never sold, John? You understand what I'm saying? I really, when it comes down to all the shit they're trying to do, John, you should let them know. I could do this if I wanted to without them ever fucking knowing. They lazy, entitled, and they're really... Here's the thing. What Travis, what George, what Brian, what Soledad, and I all discussed in November and December while they were paying me, documented... To make sure that this got all reported. Well, what they also document is what I managed to prove off 100 Sunset and what's ongoing with my building right now, especially with the funding shit that's happening. Well, LADBS is fully systemically compromised, which doesn't impact us. That impacts all the other taxpayers. Tremendously, John. This is every property owner in the city is literally, they literally know that we can go ahead and start a class action and it's a fucking wrap for the city. It needs to change. I'm all with waiting and changing. I don't want to be a fucking evil guy. But if there's no point of them getting accountable, John, there's no stop. You see what they've tried to do to me. Well, guess what? At least I'm cognate and I've got enough experience. I used to be partners with an interim judge and we used to run the doctor's script mills on Venice. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, because I'm smart enough that I make sure that I HIPAA insulate myself from shit, and I did a commission-based lease, and I was straight. So, it needs to stop, because what's happening, John, is you've seen what they tried to do to me. As you know, the last tenant in my unit, arson, murdered, and that case vanished. Never investigated. My unit still doesn't have an O2 meter in here. You understand what I'm saying? So even housing authority, when they came in, they're like, oh, this is life-threatening, not habitable in January, and they won't come back because everybody knows they fucked up so deep. Now, here's what I'm willing to do, John. I'm willing to take all my animosity and my issues that have been pointed at you. I'm willing to fucking stop them 100% and back you on the fact that, no, this is them. But this shit needs to stop, John, because the reality is I have this recorded, and this is pretty much as we can agree, this is pretty much a death clutch of a oh boy for the LADBS, and we need to get some serious reality on the fact of the matter is, the fact that you guys know that St. Joseph's and Venice Community Housing are the same owners of entities. Here's the thing. That ends up being a full conflict of the voucher program. That's why everything is so fucked up here. If the voucher programs were actually run true and we had programs, I wouldn't have the meth head that was downstairs when the fire started, continuing almost every day on video, threatening to get gas and burn this fucking place down again. That's why I get super irate, because everything's really out of control. And
it sounds like a scary place to live.
It's not that. Here's the thing, John. It's the system. It's housing authority. As we know, it's you guys also. Here's the thing. They're about to scale up 300%. Do you think anything's going to survive? And I know what the fact of the matter is, why Bonin's putting all the infrastructure in here with Metro. Because obviously, clearly, because I've done jobs for Santa Monica. Santa Monica, I did their financing out in 2017 because I did the fucking bronze that's actually not mounted to plans in their fucking courtyard because I designed the mounts and I spotted that, ooh, they fucked that all up. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's why they super freaked out, because I told them I charge them 70 grand and close down their courtyard for 2 months, wait till the last 3 days, pull it off the wall, fix it, and install it by myself with no crane. They didn't like that. But yeah, so I have experience with that. You know what I'm saying? I know what they're doing. The financing of the $56 million from hotel tax, the $2 billion on tourism, and I understand the historics of Venice, and I understand the fact of the matter, we're the only coastal access town, being that we have the historic designation that they're trying to fight to hide of housing, of apartment house, which is short-term fucking rentals, because in the teens, we were a wet town along with Vernon, and the only place you could get fucking liquor in the whole city. So I really know what they're doing, and I really know why Rad Metro LLC, the Delaware one that had started like 15 years ago before they cheated out the art financing right there, because yeah, I know the tunnel's gonna pop out right fucking there. I had this conversation. George is such an idiot. Literally, they met me and they told me that first of all, they didn't even tell me they were Brown Act violating when Jamie Page, Brian Ulf, George, and a whole bunch more of them all decide that they want to have me in a meeting at 700 fucking Main. Really brilliant. Yeah, invite me in the middle of that shit. They try to tell me that the demo unit is Travis's home across the street from that. They cried about all the issues and how they were all worried about it. That's why you have two of the new sitting Venice neighborhood council members, Vicky and Soledad, followed up my November reporting. When they tried to stuff a whole bunch of bullshit behind mine, but it's all documented. Yeah, they invited me there, telling me that they were reporters, and they were supposedly looking to help me just with my contracts because I didn't have my social services, because shit was so crazy with the dude across the street. I wanted to be moved because I just didn't want to get in fucking legal trouble, and instead they've been trying to get me in all kinds of legal trouble, so I was just documenting the only way I could, which was civil. You understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I understand, Aaron. Yeah.
So let's have another conversation tomorrow, dude. Let's have a conversation tomorrow, but think about it, because elsewise I'm gonna have to keep hammering at you, because they're fucking continuing to go after me, and the only way that I can document anything is from what I've reported. You know what I'm saying?
Put your complaints in. We look at every one you make, you know. We take it seriously.
John, you can tell me that you take it seriously, but the fact of the matter is that office needs to be closed. The fact of the matter is that the orders say so. The orders dictate that it needed to comply by October 28th. The day that they start shutting off my fucking gas, and they have Bruno on the property, and it's super documented, and that's when they decide to go after the eviction on me also. And that's when they try to have Don, their contractor, get a restraining order against me 2 months later, and still is coming to the fucking property and stuff. So, John, the hair salon is cited and was ordered to stop operation by October.
Look at it. Okay.
I can't do anything but continue to repeat those, and I have. The office was cited to comply, and they can't because they don't have power meters. So I don't know why anybody's trying to give them any kind of pass. They don't even pay utility tax. Let's get them shut down, so let's get control on stuff appropriately.
We'll take a look at it. I'll tell Ryan to take a look at it.
I appreciate it.
Ryan's
I apologize. Look, dude, I apologize. This is getting on you guys. I even went out Ryan, but like, yo, it's.
We can talk, but we can
dude,
talk.
I should have gotten paid out I should have gotten paid out quite a handsome reward for busting Booking.com. I don't know why the city didn't want the whole public registry without needing auditing, but literally that's what they offered. And I also was due my recovery for the over 400 grand he stole while I was watching him. Not my fault, but we're good. So me and you can take a different page.
You told me I know Bruno. I don't know Bruno. I never went motorcycle riding with Bruno. I have no, I just met him once or twice. That was it, so don't,
John, do you have a black motorcycle?
I don't ride a motorcycle. I don't have a license to ride a motorcycle. I'm 65 years old. I don't ride a motorcycle. I'm getting too old.
All right, well, all I know is that the timing of whoever has been here has been really, really bad for that. And they can't, and literally, hey, here's what I know. You kept it in, you guys issued it supposedly half-assed duplex, and you tried to hide my 807. As you and I both know, John, somehow Bruno got my legal name to make the allegations that you guys were responding to complaints from April, before I even got here. So that hotel has been an issue, and he's gotten passes. And even you yourself, John, after we had our conversation in May 21st, and I supplied you with exactly what you asked for, you changed the citizen's complaint to reflect a construction issue. So, we're good. I'm not tripping. I'm not going to push the issue any further. We can close that subject for now. Let's make sure this shit gets handled, and I don't care about the rest.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Have a
Appreciate
great day.
you.